Welcome back, all our viewers. Welcome back, Salil. 177 for 9, Rajasthan Royals. What do you think? Is the total good enough?
Well, I think it's not enough for sure for a batting lineup like RCB's, but they've really have a respectable total, you can say, after a careless display of batting by the Rajasthan Royals batsmen. But I think 177 can be good if their bowlers are bowling well and hold their line. So let's hope that happens.
Salil, when we were talking about the batting display of Rajasthan, we highly rated Sanju Samson, Josh Butler, and saying that Manan Vora also was in form. Three of them failed to capitalize on the opportunity. And as we said that it's time that the middle order needs to fire, you were right, and they did today. So, what are your thoughts on that innings by Shivam Dubey?
I think it was an excellent opportunity for Shivam Dubey to cement his place in the side for another few matches because now clearly he looks like the only guy in form. But
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed with the way Butler played after playing after hitting Siraj for two boundaries and then trying to just open his stumps and play those kind of extravagant shots not expected of him. Then
Yeah.
Manan Vora also got out in a similar fashion, trying to hit Kyle Jamieson, whose ball was really bouncing and he couldn't really get to it. So that was a lazy shot, along with Sanju Samson, who had hit a good six to Washington Sundar and then just pulled out to mid wicket. So it was fairly disappointing to see these three wickets fall down and put the youngsters under immense pressure.
Yeah.
Sadly, Miller went out cheaply, and you have Riyan Parag who came in and was batting brilliantly, but he too got out on a loose shot. So I think all in all, Rajasthan have really kind of deprived themselves of another 20, 25 runs. They could have easily crossed 200 the way Dubey and Ryan Parag were playing, in spite of being four down. I mean, two
Yeah.
youngsters taking the attack to the RCB bowlers was very nice to watch. It was a good feeling. But then again, how many runs are Tewatia and Morris going to score in the end? They're meant to play really for 5 overs, 6 overs, or 8 overs at the most. But because they didn't have wickets in hand, I think they were not able to score those many runs. So the batting team should be slightly disappointed, but yes, the youngsters who they have faith in, like Riyan Parag and Shivam Dubey, would be on a different high and would have got their confidence back.
Definitely, they were. But Salil, there's a very important question that I feel I need to ask you at this point is that Wankhede is known to be a very small boundary. So does the dimension of the boundary make a difference on the mindset of the batsman? Because when you're batting, when you're a Riyan Parag or when you're a Chris Morris, you back yourself to clear those boundaries. Even Shivam Dubey, the way he got out, he got caught at deep long on. So does the boundary dimension play a major role, a pivotal role in this situation?
Yes, I mean it's not the boundary; it's the pitch. It's easy and it's easy to clear it also. But then what makes a difference is while Shivam Dubey cleared those boundaries, he got out to a ball that was a slow one. So it just
Uh,
tells you the fact that the batsman needs to just read the bowlers well and maybe concentrate their batting more on the fact that the bowler is not going to bowl a similar ball to you again. So
yeah.
that is what I think is making a difference because I mean the variation in the bowling, the change of pace is making it difficult for the batsman to hit because their confidence is sky high and they think they're
Yeah.
going to clear the boundary, but that kind of a ball is not being bowled. So they are made to hit the ball, but at the same time, the ball is not fast enough for it to clear the boundary, and that's why those
Yeah.
so many catches were taken at the boundary line. So I think
Fantastic.
something to do with it. It's a double-edged sword. A batsman with full confidence, they will go ahead and they know that they're going to be clearing the boundary. But at the same time, there'll be others who will have a doubt in their mind whether I should do this or no. Uh, I mean, if you're saying that this is the doubt that Bangalore would be having, I don't think so. I think they'll come out with all confidence, and if the ball is meant to hit, they are going to go for it.
Now, speaking of the bowling department as well, what do you have to say of Mohammad Siraj and Harshal Patel? They picked up 3 wickets apiece. Amazing bowling, Salil.
I think Mohammad Siraj bowled brilliantly. I have contrasting views about Harshal Patel, and we'll get to that. I think Mohammad Siraj, the first 2 overs that he bowled were absolutely brilliant. He got Butler out, although it was, you can say it was Butler's mistake, but he bowled brilliantly. And towards the end as well, picking his third wicket, I think he did a great job for the RCB team. Harshal Patel,
Yeah,
on the other hand, was not bowling to his field in the first 2 overs. I think he went for more than 25 runs, and
only
there were
two
a couple of
runs.
discussions. Yeah, there were a couple of discussions that Virat Kohli actually had with him, and he was not very happy, saying that this is the field that I'm bowling to, and you're bowling short to him. Where Shivam Dubey picked him off, like a late cut
Yeah,
on the third man boundary. So I think initially that wasn't well, but Harshal Patel, known to be a guy who's picking up all his wickets in the last 2 overs, was lucky enough to end with 3 wickets, and now he's got 12 wickets in the tournament.
yeah,
So
yes,
it's working out for him wicket wise, but I think there are a few things to learn for him from his initial overs. But they won't
definitely.
complain about it because the score is decent to chase.
Yeah, and they kind of came back into the game. At one point, they were looking for a bigger total when Riyan Parag and Shivam Dube were batting. But quickly coming on that question, one question a fan just asked, I saw the question was like Virat Kohli has not got any 50s yet. We haven't seen Virat score a half century. How important do you think his role would be? Salil, very important questions. What are your thoughts on this?
Yes, that's a tricky one, Anushka. But I think Virat Kohli knows that at the back of his mind that he doesn't have a good score. He said at the toss that it's really good for us batsmen to come down from Chennai to Wankhede. So I think his spirit will be sky high. If he scores a 50, there is a 90% chance that RCB will win. Unless they lose all their wickets, which I think
Yeah,
is doubtful given the form that they've been in. But a Virat half century may not be detrimental for RCB to win because they've got the batting strength to chase the score.
they
I
do.
feel
They
so.
definitely do. They certainly do have a deep batting lineup, as we all know. But speaking of this total, Salil, quickly tell me, do you think the dew will play an important factor in the second innings because the total is 177, and as you said, a 170, 180 is a total which is defendable. You can put up a good fight, but Wankhede, small ground, dew in consideration. What are your thoughts, Salil?
So I think the dew will definitely play a factor because you cannot grip the ball really well. And like Tanya Kashyap says, RR really needs to show some good bowling now. And
Bang
I
on.
was getting to this point because I think the first 6 overs are extremely important. Their quickies need to do a lot with the new ball and take a couple of wickets and put RCB on the back foot. I think if they try to target around 2 wickets and not exceeding 40 to 45 runs in their 6 overs, then it will be slightly difficult for RCB because they will have to get those required boundaries in, and that's where the
Yeah,
possibility of a wicket to fall is more. So you really expect the Rajasthan bowlers to come up first. Then is the acid test for Tewatia and for Shreyas Gopal, where they go against the hard hitting batsmen of RCB and maybe try to take a few wickets. So yes, the bowlers do have an uphill task, but I think they need to really break their tasks, according to the chase and not look at a 20 over innings.
absolutely. And what would be the game plan for the openers? Because this total is not very small, but it's not unchaseable as well. It's a total that is well within reach. So what do you think? What would Virat Kohli be telling the young Devdutt Padikkal as to how to go about the innings?
He would be telling him this is like a 19 total. It could go either way. We really
That's it.
not want to lose our wickets, and I think they will learn from how Rajasthan also batted. Right, although they lost the wickets initially, they still were able to chase it towards the end, and it's going to get easier for the batsman to chase because the ball, will have the dew and the factors will which don't really go towards which don't favor the bowling side. So
Yeah,
I think what they'll really want to do is they won't worry about giving their wickets away, but they won't want to give away their wickets away, by playing extravagant shots and by being
yeah,
too ambitious. I think that is what they will absolutely regret. And if they do that and they're put on the back foot and maybe a Maxwell or a AB doesn't fire, then the lower, middle or lower order of RCB is really going to be exposed, which has not been exposed so far because their
so
top
far.
five have made the chunk of their runs. So I think it's a catch-22 situation, and the first three batsmen for RCB should really be, keeping their wicket and trying to build a very good partnership and have at least 8 wickets, by the 10th over in hand, so they can easily
Definitely.
chase the score.
Definitely. And when you have the chase master, King Kohli, in your team, you don't need to do much. You just need to sit back and enjoy, have a popcorn or have Coke. but just chill and watch him bat. But what do you have to say of Maxwell and AB de Villiers, as the most experienced T20 players, one of the best T20 players in the world? So, what pressure does Maxwell feel when he comes to bat here? New ground for him.
Well, I think Maxwell will feel even better because he's batted really well on a ground that is not good for batting. And that's very surprising of Maxwell. I mean, he's really pulled something out,
Yeah.
new in his armory, and he's got that grit and determination. He doesn't play those rash shots. So I don't think he'll be worried much. He knows that the pitch is for the batsman, so that confidence will be there. And when it comes to AB de Villiers, he just has to come and hit the ball. I mean, does he
AB.
need a pitch? I don't think he needs at all. So the
Goes
good
in the
part
air.
about Maxwell and AB being in form is it really helps Captain Kohli at the start, knowing that even if he fails once again in the fourth match, I mean not once again, he's not doesn't get a 50 in the fourth match. He's still in a position to win the match purely because the two middle order batsmen that he's got are absolutely in form and they're the stronghold. So I think that's excellent.
Shall you quickly just answer this question? This is one of the best questions I've come across because Siraj's career has been a fairy tale. Having such a setback at a young age, losing your father, playing in Australia, emerging as the man of the match in the last game, picking up a fifer, and then what do you have to say about him, Mohammad Siraj, as a cricketer?
I think as a cricketer or in any situation in any walk of life, there are people who become who they really are supposed to be when they are put in difficult positions. And I think Siraj has done just that. Bowling without a lot of experience in Australia and whilst having a issue in his family, it is not easy for people to cope with this. So but you feel that Siraj has a very very big heart. I mean, he's also jumped
Yeah,
when Ashwin made his century. So I think the kind of charisma and the kind of spirit that he carries is absolutely brilliant for cricket. It's so encouraging to see with when your players are rejoicing for your wickets or your centuries, and you know that they have their heart all into the game. So I think Siraj has really really matured into an excellent cricketer, and we really hope that he has a long career for India. He has the talent for it for sure. We saw it today. So I don't have any doubt if that he's going to make it. He's
our
going to
best of
absolutely make it.
wishes with you, Mohammad Siraj. I just want to say, Salil, that it's the second innings is about to start now. What are your thoughts, Salil? Still, you would back your gut with Rajasthan, or is it 60-40?
I would say it's a 50-50, but I would say
Ah,
that Rajasthan might pull it off if their bowlers do something. I think I can
yep.
already see my prediction not coming true because RCB don't have enough runs to chase. But you never
Exactly.
know. But you never know,
Yes.
right? You'd hope the Rajasthan bowlers to do something.
Live action coming up, Salil. I hope Rajasthan pulls it off. Sorry, Mr. Nags. Live action coming up, Salil. I'll see you in the post-match show. Bye bye.
Absolutely, yes. Bye bye. See you.